Decision is due no later than 5 business days from today. The decision can be challenged in Superior Court. A network of substance abuse recovery clinics will open a new location in Ellsworth to address the lack of services in the area. Everest Recovery is a network of opioid use disorder clinics. The company recently completed the city's review process and is renovating a vacant building for the new Ellsworth facility. City planner Brittany Merrill says Everest Recovery identified Ellsworth as a community in need of treatment services based on their research.
They noticed that there was a lack of such services in this area. Because of the distance people are traveling in order to receive these services, it does put a burden on those citizens.
Merrill says the clinic will help address a major gap in the county's treatment services. Everest Recovery hopes to open the new clinic later this year. And folks, let's turn things over for a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Beth. Increasing clouds out there for today. You can see the warmer temperatures off to the east. You got a bit more sunshine, reaching near 60 in Holton for today, but 57 here in Bangor and much cooler off to the west. You're seeing low 50s and even a few mid 40s out there for highs. Freiburg at 46 degrees for you today. So showers are here this evening. They're going to hang out throughout much of tonight. We'll see those get out of here right around 1 a.m. or so here in the Bangor region, still occurring further up north, right? But as we go throughout the night, we'll dry out for a bit, but more showers are on the way for tomorrow. They're looking to stay to the west, but still with all this cloud cover here tomorrow, we will still see some light showers here in Bangor, but much heavier showers are going to be to the west near Portland for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So here we are looking throughout tonight. Well, we got the showers here now. They are going to linger till about midnight to 1 a.m. We'll stay dry throughout the rest of the night, but cloud cover still hanging out there. So that's going to keep us in the low to mid 40s throughout the night tonight. Beth?
Chase, thank you. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, a look at your national headlines. Stay tuned.
The best part of driving a Honda HR-V is what you bring to the experience. The HR-V from Honda.
Who is the real Graham Plattner? He calls rural Mainers stupid and racist. Plattner says some Maine lobstermen are drug-addicted pieces of shit. He blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. Graham Plattner even bragged about a Nazi tattoo on his chest. He calls it eminently reasonable. That's the real Graham Plattner. To be continued. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Spring is here and the rebates are huge with Valley Home Services. With the quiet and efficient Fujitsu Air Stage units, there's never been a better time to buy. And with Efficiency Main rebates up to $9,500. Plus, Valley Home is offering an additional promotional discount of $750 per system until May 31st. Best of all, everyone qualifies for a rebate even if you've received one before. Spring into home comfort and incredible rebates with Valley Home Services.
My grandmother was a nurse, and I really enjoy caring for people. Once I found out about the community college and what they offer, I felt that that was a sign. I'm able to become an RN in 2 years and receive a great education, a very hands-on education. Now that I am a nurse, I cannot picture myself doing anything else. I mean, the opportunities are endless. The world is your oyster as a nurse.
It all comes down to this.
Continuing tonight, the epic 4-night Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars finale event with all 3 returning champs.
It's just too intimidating.
A new episode each night.
TV characters, 1,500, and I better be up there.
With a Friday finale showdown.
It was Taft.
Wow! Who walks away with $1 million for charity? Come on.
Come on. I knew it.
Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars 4-night finale event continues tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC and Hulu.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda. One of Car and Driver's 10 best, a record 40 times. Hurry in to your local Honda dealer today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The deadly deadly hantavirus outbreak tied to a cruise ship off the coast of South America is now stretching across multiple countries, with health officials monitoring dozens of people here in the U.S. This morning, one patient in France is now critically ill on an artificial lung, while authorities in Georgia prepare to update the public on 2 American cruise passengers being monitored there. ABC's Ashan Singh has the latest.
This morning, a French woman infected with hantavirus is now in critical condition. Doctors say she is suffering from the most severe outcome of the virus, with life-threatening damage to her lungs and heart. The woman is now being treated with an artificial lung, as the World Health Organization says the outbreak has grown to 11 reported cases worldwide, including 3 deaths. Here in the United States, officials are currently monitoring 36 people across 10 states, including passengers who returned home early or shared flights with infected travelers. In Atlanta, 2 American passengers were taken to Emory University Hospital for evaluation, though health officials say the symptomatic passenger has tested negative for hantavirus. And in Omaha, 16 people remain under observation inside a biocontainment unit, including the only American to test positive for the virus so far.
I think we should not be surprised if there's additional cases. But now that we've identified all of these individuals, they've gone to their respective countries, and they're appropriately being monitored, we should expect cases to drop off after that.
Meanwhile, health officials in Illinois are investigating a possible new case that is unrelated to the cruise ship. The person reportedly experienced mild symptoms after coming into contact with the rodent droppings while cleaning, the more common way hantavirus is contracted. Experts stress that strain is different from the rarer Andes variant linked to the cruise ship outbreak, which can spread person to person in rare cases. And health officials say all of the people currently under observation here in the U.S. remain symptom-free this morning, but due to the virus's long incubation period, there could be emerging cases in the weeks ahead. Ashan Singh, ABC News, New York.
For the first time in nearly a decade, a U.S. president is visiting China. President Trump arriving in Beijing today for a high-stakes meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. For more than a dozen CEOs of major U.S. companies are joining him on that trip. ABC's Selena Wang has the latest.
The red carpet rolled out for President Trump as he stepped off Air Force One in Beijing, greeted by the Chinese vice president and U.S. ambassador to China.
We have a lot of things to discuss.
More than a dozen CEOs of major U.S. companies are joining Trump on the trip. The president writing on social media that he'll be asking Chinese President Xi Jinping to open up China so that these brilliant people can work their magic.
He's trying to do everything he can to at least say to the U.S. public that I'm trying to open up a very closed market. The chance of that happening is very low.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, a last-minute add to the trip. Huang has been lobbying the administration to loosen export controls on his company's advanced AI chips. But in Washington, some lawmakers warning that could give China an edge in the global AI race. The war with Iran will loom large as the president meets with Xi. China is one of Iran's closest allies. Iran says China plays a key role in its security position in the Strait of Hormuz and buys more Iranian oil than any other country. Before the trip, the president was asked if he thought China should intervene in the conflict.
No, I don't think we need any help with Iran.
But during their meeting, Trump is expected to urge Xi to pressure Tehran to make a deal and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Americans feeling the pressure amid the strait's closure, with gas prices up 50% since the war began. The bilateral talks between President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping are set to take place on Thursday. The president says he's hoping to sign deals for China to buy more American food and airplanes. The president says he'll be talking to Xi Jinping about trade more than anything else. Selena Wang, ABC News, Beijing.
And still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, sports is up next with our Jack Webb.
This is the road where young Graham Plattner grew up in Sullivan, Maine. This is the uniform he wore after enlisting in the Marines to protect his country. This is the bay where he served as a harbor master and runs an oyster farm with his wife. This is where Graham lives now, on the very same road where he grew up, fighting for the people he knows, for the state he loves. It is and always will be Mainers first, Maine always.
I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Summer's here. Who's ready for camp in a new Toyota? Nice splash! The scavenger hunt starts now! The call was coming from inside the Tacoma!
Now, from the longest-lasting brand with the best resale value, you could get $4.99 per 72 on a Tacoma with $500 bonus cash on SR5 gas models.
Your summer starts here!
Toyota, let's go places.
The fun never stops at Wheel.
You got it! It's a call!
A truly historic bonus round on Wheel of Fortune. Somebody could win $500,000. Where are you going?
To pass out?
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
Are you ready to play?
Yes, finally.
Step up to the podium.
I'm so excited.
Grab your buzzer.
The buzzer's very mysterious.
This is Jeopardy!
Ain't no party like a Jeopardy party.
This week at 7:30, only on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, folks. The Husson University softball team has qualified for the NCAA tournament in each of the last 8 seasons. And for the third time in 5 years, they'll host a regional round right here in Bangor. The Eagles hosted the tournament in 2021 and 24 and will do so once again starting on Thursday as the number 12 ranked team in the nation for Division III. Eagles senior catcher Morgan Tainter acknowledged how great the opportunity is to play at home in the opening round, not only for the advantage that comes with that, but the idea that teams from around the region will be able to experience the town of Bangor.
We always love a good home field advantage, but to host it here and know that these schools aren't, like, most of them haven't played here ever. So we're super excited to be able to show them, like, what Bangor, Maine has to offer and how we're ready to come out and win.
The Eagles drew Endicott College in Monday's selection show and will face off with the Gulls on Thursday. Senior Morgan Curtis says that this team's goal did not stop at winning the NAC title and that they are here to win.
Pretty much we just remind each other that our record now is 0-0 and so is everybody else's. So when we show up to practice, we show up like it's warm-ups for a game. We have an expectation now, and being able to perform at the high standard of a regional is what we're focusing on.
Good luck to those Eagles. Keeping it local, Maine's 2025 Mr. Baseball has made an instant impact with the University of Southern Maine's Huskies baseball program. Jeez, I'm crow. As Foxcroft Academy alum Hayden Strout was recognized for his efforts on Wednesday. Strout was named the 2026 Little East Conference Rookie of the Year, becoming the first pitcher to win Rookie of the Year in a storied history for USM. The lefty posted a 6-1 record with a 3.38 ERA. As the former Pony continues to dominate at the next level, the Huskies are hosting a regional in the NCAA tournament this weekend as they look to make a run at the national tournament. Let's stay on the diamond now for some high school baseball action. We'll take you to Newport, where the Nokomis Warriors hosted the Skowhegan Riverhawks. Some light rain in the mix here in Newport, but we play ball anyway. In the first inning, here's a hit from Jack Fitzpatrick. Nokomis looking for the easy out, but they can't clean it up. Fitzpatrick ends up on base. In the second inning, though, it's another nice hit from the Riverhawks, but Nokomis' Owen Sides tracks it down for the out. Riverhawks found a way to the base in early this one. John Johnson with a hit to right field, and he takes first. Then Warriors took off. Maddox Hawthorne with a deep center hit. That would set up Jeff Carr for a big 2-run homer to make it 2-0. Sorry we missed that one, but we wanted to recognize you, Jeff. Riverhawks get on the board with an RBI as Ari Brown's hit sends Fitzpatrick home, but the Warriors kept scoring. Owen Buck with a deep hit, and Hawthorne gets home again. Warriors go on to win by a score of 9-1. We'll have more for you later on. That's all the time we have for now, though. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Jack. Your evening weather is brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. All right, so for today, a lot of increase in cloud cover throughout the day with some showers now arriving this evening. That kept us near 57 degrees here in Bangor. You saw more sunshine off to the east for today, so Holton warming up near 60 for you, but more cloud cover and showers for you more throughout the day, so that kept you in the mid-40s. In Freiburg, a lot of us in the low to mid-50s as you head a little bit further down to the southwest. So for tonight, a lot of us will see those temperatures fall into the low to mid-40s. A lot of cloud cover still out there, some showers early on, and a wind still staying light from the south is going to keep us above average for tonight into tomorrow. Looking to reach into the low 60s. It's going to be hard to do that again with a lot of cloud cover and more showers on the way. You can see where more of that rain and heavier cloud cover is going to stay. It's going to be off to the west for tomorrow, keeping many of you in the 50s. It's going to be hard to reach 60 here in Bangor as well with all that cloud cover, but take a look at our temperature trend, right? Average highs this time of year in the mid-60s. Yes, we're a few degrees below that for your Thursday and Friday, but looking great this weekend with mid to upper 70s. Still stay in the 70s Monday with a high of 71, 79 for your Tuesday, and then back near average on Wednesday with a cold front in the mid to upper 60s. But we will still take these temperatures. It's finally starting to feel a little bit more like May here in the state of Maine. So winds for today, a little breezy out there from the south with this front coming in, right? So we'll see this wind lighten up a bit throughout tonight. It's going to gust again near 25 for tomorrow. Still from the south and the southeast, we'll see the wind switch coming for your Friday on the back end of this low pressure system. But you can see some light to moderate showers throughout the night tonight, already here right around 9 p.m. going into the overnight hours. 1:30 in the morning is when we'll start to see this first round of showers making its way out of here. So pretty dry, but still cloudy throughout the rest of the night. Now tomorrow late morning into the afternoon and evening, looks like the heavier showers are going to stay just to the west of Bangor. Now it looks like we may stay dry right now. All this cloud cover will still be throwing out some showers. They're going to be much lighter though than you're seeing here to the west, where they can see an inch to 2 of rainfall by the time we get into your Friday. So that front is going to kind of stall out right over the Bangor region, continuing to throw some scattered showers all the way into our Friday afternoon. This is when we're going to start to get the wind switch as well, with that front starting to make its way out of the area. So pretty rainy next few days coming up, as we are already seeing some rain out there now. So scattered showers throughout the night, coming to an end a little bit after 1 a.m., but we'll still have clouds and fog out there with a light south wind. Now as we get into tomorrow, your highs going to reach back into the low 60s, more in the 50s as you head further west with those cloudy skies and rain showers in the area. We'll see some more gusty winds as well from the southeast, gusting near 25 miles per hour at times. So here's a look at your extended forecast. We're in the low 60s for tomorrow and Friday with rain showers in the area, but that all gets out of here by this weekend, and it looks much better weather-wise. Mid to upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday. We'll fall into the low 70s, but still, of course, above average for your Monday with mostly sunny skies in the area. Beth?
Chase, thank you so much, and there is more to come after the break.
What does Graham Plattner think of rural Mainers? He calls them stupid and racist. And Plattner called some Maine lobstermen drug-addicted pieces of shit. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
You're getting ripped off. Criminals overbill Maine Care. They even charge for fake services, and Janet Mills let it happen. I'm Jonathan Bush. I've built systems that stopped fraud and abuse and saved customers millions. As governor, I'll audit every program and reduce that waste and fraud. Politicians and lobbyists don't have what it takes to clean up this corruption, but I do. I'm Jonathan Bush. Let's shake up Augusta.
Chevy drivers need a truck that shows up the same way they do. That's why Chevy Silverado is #1 in manufacturer loyalty. So they can go where others won't and always get it done. And as long as Chevy people keep showing up, we'll keep building trucks that do the same.
Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing or $6,000 total cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, get an additional $1,000 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. And now, eligible military personnel can get $1,000 bonus cash on most Chevy models.
Thousands of kids like Caroline receive life-changing care at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center each year, the only full-service pediatric program north of Portland. You can help support them by joining the Summer Classic for Maine Kids Golf Tournament, happening July 31st at Bangor Municipal Golf Course. Benefiting the Children's Miracle Network at Eastern Maine Medical Center, every dollar raised supports pediatric care today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Ready to tee up for a great cause? Visit northernlight.org/4kids to learn more and register today.
Graham Plattner blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. And Plattner bragged about having a Nazi tattoo on his chest. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Last November, a 9-foot bronze sea captain statue was unveiled in the town of Searsport. Now the woman who spent years trying to make it a reality is sharing what it means to see it become a community staple. Our Grace Blanchard has the story.
Looking over the town of Searsport is a piece of its heritage.
When I was a little girl, Searsport was known as the home of sea captains.
The sea captain statue was unveiled last November. But the idea for it came decades before that.
And I was probably around 8 or 9 years old. My mother gave me just a little statue of a sea captain. Doesn't look anything like that one, but just a little statue. And I remember thinking then, oh, Searsport needs to have a statue.
A few years ago, during the 175th anniversary of the town, Kelly joined forces with her longtime friend Natalie Knox to make the statue a reality. Unfortunately, Natalie fell ill and passed before that could happen.
So I just kind of sat back and thought, I can't do this. No way can I do this.
After her husband passed just months after Natalie, she felt motivated to make it happen. That's when support from area communities started flowing in.
I call it a dream come true because it's on the back plaque, because just so many people stepped up.
Since then, the statue has become a community staple.
It went in late last year, but even with it going in later and being installed later, I saw people stopping and taking pictures in front of it.
The statue has been dedicated to Natalie Knox and is displayed prominently in front of the Penobscot Marine Museum, a gift from Kelly to her friend and the town she's always called home.
I needed something I could leave. I wanted to have something that I knew I was responsible for.
In Searsport, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And we'll have more on what's happening in the town of Searsport during our live On the Road show this Friday. That is going to do it for us, folks, from everyone here at ABC 7 News. Take care and have a great rest of your night. Join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30 for more.
Tonight, President Trump
picked it up. He lost my keys to my bus, and the lock is not even on there. I have to get the lock replaced. That's $200 just for the lock.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
Well, I think she did the right thing today. Somebody got served justice because we did a lot of work to that bus.
I feel like it's unfair. I did pay him. This is what he quoted me, that he could do the work.
Like I said, she's Cinderella. I'm her fairy godmother, and that bus was a pumpkin, so we turned it into a carriage.
And he couldn't. If he couldn't do the work, then he should have said that in the beginning.
The outside was not part of our job. We sealed everything right.
I have it tarped at the top now.
She would have called me again. I'm a gentleman. I would have gone out there and I would have fixed anything that we did wrong.
I can't tell you. This is really taking me back.
I'm glad it's over, yes.
I'm gonna get it on the road.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
As Maine continues to mourn the loss of Warden Service pilot Joshua Tibbetts, a solemn and lengthy procession carried him from Augusta to Newport this morning. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Authorities say the 50-year-old died in a plane crash yesterday while working in Franklin County. Our Doug Banks has the story.
He died what he loved doing.
Joshua Tibbetts was honorably transferred from Augusta to a Newport funeral home Wednesday morning. The 50-year-old from New Gloucester died in a plane crash on Tuesday.
Such a tragic scenario for the state of Maine.
He was stalking fish and collecting data over Schoolhouse Pond in the Franklin County town of Avon when the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says his Cessna 185F automatically dispatched